You need help?
Okay, welcome to What's Up Wednesday with Momming on the Daily with
Kelly.
and Marina. Tonight we're talking about quick ways to eliminate stress throughout your day.
Yes.
You do that, Kelly.
How did I do? Can you see me?
I sure can.
I can't see me. I'm lost. I'm lost. I can't be found. I was going to look at that over there. Oh, there we are. There we are. Did you like that? And he goes, "Don't touch stuff, Mom." Yeah. So tonight I was, I have a lot of good stuff going on. We all do, and all like that. And it was a little bit chilly, but then the wind stopped, and Marina helped me, said, "Get out there and go walk." And I went and walked I set my alarm. I'm like, all right, I'll just walk 20 minutes. And then I ended up walking almost 40 minutes, which was great. And it really did feel good. It was just walking, and there was a dead bird, but that was okay. But it was
We
nice.
chatted some too in your walk, so it broke up.
Yeah, like, so you and I were chatting, and we were just talking about random things and work and new people I met this week, and it was nice. But like literally 20-minute walk can really just fresh air. It just changed my attitude.
Yeah. Like if you're at work and work is getting you and it's stressful in the office, take your lunch outside.
Yeah.
Take your lunch outside, go for a walk, eat out on the park bench. Do whatever it takes to get out in nature. Nature is really important to us health-wise, and it's good for our minds.
Yeah, mental health is really good, because I have so many things, so stressed, and just going to take that walk made a big difference, like tonight. And
Also, when you're really tired too from being stressed and you get exhausted that you want to take a nap, if you get outside and you move and you walk, it wakes you up. It gives you that second wind.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a bunch of different things, like I just found, and you guys could Google it or look it up or whatever, but I think I have to send it to you. I think I said I was going to, but I found like a 5-minute meditation. I just literally Googled 5-minute meditation, and I found one that I really like. That she has really good affirmations. I like what she says. It was one of the things we talked about, like, you are where you're supposed to be, let go of yesterday, today's a new day. Like, if it didn't work out yesterday, let's look at it today as positive. It's just really nice. And one of the things she says is like, you're the artist of your life, so paint the life that you want, like, art, and things like that. So it's just literally 5 minutes, and it makes a big difference. And sometimes if I don't have time to do it, my little one, who's not so little anymore, she's 11. I'm like, "You want to do it with me?" She's like, "Yeah." So she'll be in the back of the car, like with her, it says, close your eyes and put your hands out like this, and but I'm driving, so I tell her, I'm like, "Okay, I'm not going to do my hands or my eyes, because I don't want to crash the car, but at least I'm listening to everything. I'm doing the breathing, but to me, it's more important that I at least do the steps through, learning." And it says about bringing energy in, and bringing positive energy in, and letting the old energy out your feet, and positive energy in. So to me, like, sometimes, like when I'm running and crazy and blah, 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 at least I'm still doing, the mind part of it, even though I can't do all the physical part of it when we're doing it.
Right. Another thing that I love to do is just turn the music up.
Oh, that's good.
Even if I'm in the car and I'm stressed, I will just put on music that I love, that makes me feel good, that brings me back to a time that was like good or fun, right? And I just blast that music, and I just let myself be in it. If I'm home, I might dance around the house, whatever.
Yeah.
But music is another one to allow you to just step out of what is bringing you the overwhelm, the anxiety, the stress, that I can't breathe. I feel like I'm drowning. We've all been there. And it's really important that we take care of our minds when we get out in nature. Call a girlfriend, chat while you're walking, my cousin does that. She picks every different cousin every time she goes walking. So she'll catch up with each one of us. Oh, I'm on my walk, and then she'll catch up with us, and then the next day she'll call somebody else, and the next day. So when she's on her walk, she catches up with people.
Sure.
So she's getting her exercise. She's out in nature, and she's talking to someone and laughing and having a good time while she's doing it. Or better yet, get a friend to go walk with you.
Mm-hmm. So it used to be nice. One of the teams my kids was on, we had a great parent group. You don't always have a great parent group when it comes to like travel sports and stuff like that, but we had a really good one. And there was always a bunch of well, I shouldn't say always, but there was either 2 moms or 3 moms or 4 moms and sometimes 5 moms. And it was so funny one night where a bunch of us were walking and blah, 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 and 3 were walking this way and 3 of us hid behind a car and jumped out and scared them. And we were laughing and it was so, it was so funny because we're totally acting like little kids doing this. And one of and it was funny to see how the different reacts. One of them was like really screaming. They're like, "Oh, you really scared me!" We're like, "Oh, like we were just joking." Like, I mean, it was funny. Like she wasn't upset, but she's like, "Oh my God, you really scared me." But it was fun. Like you said, it's nice to go walking and things like that. And another thing, which I was just talking to another friend about, and I just actually put 2 and 2 together. We're talking about kids and helping our kids get through the stress and things like that. And one of the things I'd like to do is help the club, my daughter's soccer club and stuff, have some of these kids relieve some of their stress. And it's funny, I want to help them do some team building. And there's been some resistance, and so I'm not going to push it because I'm not the director of the club and stuff. But it was funny. I said that one of the coaches is like, "Oh, these juniors and seniors are really stressed because they're having college recruiters come and stuff." And I said, "Absolutely no." And I said, "But I'm looking for 20 minutes, maybe half an hour." I said it would be really good for club building and things like that. It's like, "Oh, but they're stressed and they have homework and blah blah blah." And I said, "But they're stressed because of the recruiters, they're stressed because of the homework, but they're not going to play as well because they're stressed of all these things." So what I was asking for them is to come with some of the little kids. When I say little kids, the oldest were junior and seniors in high school, and the youngest were 7th and I would say 8th grade. Yes, 7th and 8th grade, like middle school. So 6th grade, maybe 6th grades, and then, like I said, juniors and seniors. So but those 6th graders look up to those juniors and seniors so much because they think, "Oh my gosh, they're so much older," because they're only in middle school and they're finishing high school and they're going off to college. So I was trying to get them all together to do a fun kind of almost like a speed dating, but get to know people on your team, and you have to try and see how many people you can know and you have to have 3 things that are alike, and then you can make a group over here, and then how many people that like this. You have to get 3 people like this, and you have to kind of move around. And it was this fun team building thing. And I was trying to tell the club, the importance of it is when they play a game at our home fields, the kids are more likely to say "Oh, I know Bella, I know Susan, I know Kim, I know these players, so I want to go and watch because I got to know them on this trip." And I was trying to say to my girlfriend and I were talking about, and I said, "I understand that all these kids are stressed because of course they want recruiters and everybody looking at them. But I said, if they took these 20 minutes, they're going to be laughing, and these younger girls are looking up to them, and it's going to give that empowerment that they're like, oh my God, you're like a movie star to them."
Right.
And that good feeling. And I'm not looking for hours, 20 minutes for them to do this and laugh. They'll do their homework better, they'll sleep better, they won't be as stressed, because they had a little bit of laughter, a little bit of lightness, a little bit of not always looking at me. Sometimes we're so focused, me, and that pressure that we don't think sometimes, stop thinking of, I don't mean in a bad way, stop thinking of me, but, think about others. I'm not trying to say people are selfish, but if, kind of stop just worrying about all your stuff you're worrying about and kind of focus on other things in your life, it will probably go a little bit better for you in all those places you're worrying.
When we focus on other people, it takes the stress off of us. So you're right. I agree with that.
Yeah. So So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed when I couldn't get them to do, like, I couldn't get coaches to really, they're like, yeah, they don't have to do it if they don't want to, but then the kid's like, well, I'm not doing it then. I'm like, okay, well, then I can't force you and I'll just do yeah, so we just did a
A lot of
scavenger.
corporate companies do team building.
Yeah. Because you're more likely to help. I mean, when you do team building, like not just your own team, but I was trying to do club building and team building. It just strengthens your communication, it strengthens your trust, it strengthens so many things that you don't even realize that are underlying. So,
Right.
um,
Another thing is watch your words. How you speak. If we speak negative and we talk about negative all the time, negative is what we have.
Mhm.
If we change our words just a little bit and we look at it from a positive pair of glasses instead of a negative one. And I know when we're in deep in our stuff and how we're feeling and in our feelings too, it's easy to have misery loves company, like call your girlfriend and you're like, you're both ranting about your kids, you're ranting about this, you're ranting about that. And it's like misery likes company. Instead, talk about good things in life. Talk about the good things.
Yeah, like I was talking to you, like I'm so tired of, it's not gossiping, but it's like, oh, did you hear about that? I don't want to say like, but it's like, we're talking about these, I don't want to say not important, but like things that like, I'm like, there's bigger things. Like, I'm like, that's why I said to you, like, I want to talk about more nudes that like, let's talk about the banks that just fall, like how, that is, or, I'm trying to broaden my education or horizons or things like that. So I'm talking about more broader things than I'm talking about the people around me, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. They used to, my grandmother used to say, if you speak doom and gloom chases you.
Yeah.
If you speak about joy and happiness chase you. We get to direct our life by how we, like, I always call my husband Negative Nelly because I'm like, oh, this is going to happen. I'll believe it when I see it. He always says, I'm like, all right, Negative Nelly, and I'm like, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm always the positive one. But I found that I've been in dark places before in my life, really dark places. And I've been a mom of a sick child that didn't sleep for 3 years. So mamas, I know how it is when you're stuck in a house with a sick child, who's not sleeping, who's not happy all the time, crying and all, and you just want to lose your mind. Sometimes just lay them in their crib and shut the door and just, I would go out on the porch and just breathe for a moment, just breathe. And I'll share with you, a couple of times my neighbor downstairs, when we were living in our other house, we had tenants that lived below us, and he would call me and say, your baby's crying? Of course I know he's crying. Where do you think I am? But sometimes you just have to put them down in their crib, they're safe.
Yeah.
And just go stand on the porch and take care of yourself, because I know how you can get really dark and really sad when you're dealing with a child that's not well or not happy. And just make sure you make time for yourself. When they take a nap, take a bath.
Or take a nap.
Take a nap. The dishes will get done. The laundry will get folded.
Or sit down and watch, something funny, or watch your show, or like, exactly, take a break yourself. Like, give yourself that mental break, that physical break that you need also.
You do. And call somebody if you need to.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelly used to call me and say, hey, I'm going to go get coffee with a friend. Do you mind if I leave the girls at your house? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah. And then there's some times where I would say to her, at that time I had my niece and nephew with me, and I would say, hey, I have a couple of things to do. Do you mind taking the kids? And she'd be like, yeah, sure. Have that someone that's there that you can say, hey, I'm going to go grab coffee with a friend. Do you mind taking the girls? you know, and they'll be
Have that
like,
village, have that,
yeah, have that village.
and don't feel bad about it or guilt, you will be a better parent, you will be a better caregiver, you'll be, because you need that break, and then you'll be able to come back, and when they spill the milk, you don't freak out, oh my God, because obviously they didn't mean to spill the milk. Well, some kids do mean to spill the milk because they don't want to drink the milk, but then I make them drink 2 glasses if they think that they're so smart. But anyway, but if they spill the milk by accident,
Right.
and instead of reacting like, because you took that break, you're like, oh, I'm like, come on, let's clean it up, it's okay, blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
if you don't, you react poorly to things. I mean, we all do it. I've done it. I've done
I've
it.
done it.
Like, I didn't mean it. We've all done it. Like, we're yelling at our kids literally for, spilling milk or knocking something over, and obviously they didn't mean to.
Nick spilled every dinner. So at the nights that he didn't spill, you're like, yes, we made it through dinner without him spilling. He always spilled something at dinner. And I have lost my mind on several occasions. I'm like, again, are you kidding me? We can't get through a dinner without you spilling.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, we've all done it. We've all reacted poorly. I am much better now at going to my kids. I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have reacted that way. I wish I would have said some this differently. But that shows my kids that we're human, and mommy makes mistakes. We all make mistakes. Like, we're
Right.
not gonna be perfect.
No, and please don't think there's any perfect parent out there. Don't put yourself down because you're seeing the highlight reel of somebody else's life.
Yeah.
Because everyone's life has ups, downs, bends, quick turns, and sometimes you don't know when that turn's coming up. It just shows up, and here it is. It's whacking you in the face, right? Then it happens. It happens. And sometimes you might have one or two little ones, and then one gets sick, and then the next one gets sick, and you feel like you never get out from that cycle of sickness, and you just have to step away, take a shower, and go out.
Yeah,
And
I heard one mom.
sometimes when you just take your kids for a walk, they fall asleep in the stroller.
I know, how lovely is that?
It's so wonderful. I used to drive around the neighborhood with my kids in the car, so they would definitely fall asleep in their cars.
Like,
I'll waste the gas.
Exactly. I'm like, nay.
That's right. Find what works best for you. Even if you just have to put your earbuds in, sit on the couch, close your eyes, and just listening to. If you're the praying type, pray. If you're into meditation and all that, then do it. Do what makes you feel peace.
Yeah.
Your peace is so important.
And
I will add, if you feel like you're in too dark of a place, reach out and get help. There's nothing wrong with that either. I have gotten help myself.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that either. You have to do what's best for yourself.
And don't judge yourself, and don't judge anyone else. You're having a bad day, you're having a good day. It's okay. We'll figure it out. Like, if you're having a bad day, it's okay. You're having a bad day. You're allowed to have a bad day. Let's figure out what to do with that day so it can get better. Or let's figure out but like you said, you make a phone call, go take a walk, go back to sleep and wake up tomorrow if you're able to. And wake up the next day and say, okay, new day, it's a fresh day.
You know what I did find though, some days when it was really bad, when I did my hair and my makeup, I don't care if he was screaming in the little seat next to me. He did like the blow dryer. So sometimes if I just ran the blow dryer, if I wasn't blow drying my hair and just ran it, that was soothing to him. But I would just do my makeup and my hair. That makes you feel so much better.
Yeah.
Get your nails done. Get your feet done.
It was funny. There was I was at work, and I'm a substitute now, and the woman took off because I was at a daycare actually today, and she took off because her husband got a knee replacement. And he's like, he's doing much better than I expected, and he's already up walking around. And I said to her, and I go, then do something for you. Go get your nails done. Go get a pedicure. Like, if he doesn't need you, you know, like she took the time off anyway. I go, do something you want to do. Go get a
Right.
massage, go get your nails done. Do, you know, she laughed. She's like, I didn't think well, I should be out in the yard raking leaves and all. And I said, okay, do that if that's what you want, but do something for yourself. Like
Right.
you're not wrong.
Hi, Light Bright. Welcome.
Oh, like right
Good to
then.
see you. Or another one I used to go to is Barnes and Noble. I used to sit in one of those big chairs upstairs
Uh-huh.
and just look at the pictures and the cookbooks. And some days I can feel myself dozing off a little bit, but the peace and quiet of Barnes and Noble, I'd get myself a coffee at the start. Our Barnes and Noble has a Starbucks in it.
Yeah, I think most of them do actually, because ours does too, like down here, and I know a few of them.
Yeah, so I would get a coffee. I would get in that big comfy chair upstairs, get a book. Even if I was just looking at pictures, it was my time. It was quiet. Sometimes it almost feels uncomfortable because you're not used to quiet. You're not used to not having your kids. So you're like, oh, this is kind of strange. But then just fall into it.
Yeah.
But you have to take care of yourself. If you're in the office, take your lunch outside. Ask one of your girlfriends at work if they want to go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
I know so many of my friends, they walk their lunch hour.
I used to.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I used to walk from the train station, from where my clients to the train station. And that was my peace, even though there's no peace in Manhattan. But
But you know what? The piece of Manhattan was the piece of Manhattan. I never minded that.
no, I didn't either, because it was the busyness of it. So I was able to, I would walk from my client's house to the train. And that was my like debriefing. It was like getting all that mess out of me before I went on the train.
I know it is nice to get, like you said, going to the train, getting that out of you. Like, you know what I mean? Like to me, I'll tell you this funny. I lived out in Wisconsin with one of my roommates from college, and we were out there and stuff. And I had to go to one plant to another plant. I was driving the car into Wisconsin out in the middle of the, I was like, I'm gonna be killed. They're gonna bury my car over there. Nobody's gonna know where it is. There's like, because it was so out in the middle of nowhere and it was so quiet. I'm driving. I'm like, there's not behind me, nothing for me. I mean, there's nothing in any direction. I'm like, I'm going to be killed. Like my car's gonna break down. They're gonna put me in like the bar. My house, my car's gonna end up in that barn over there. Chop me up. Like it literally, it was too quiet. I was like, nope, city girl. Oh, listen to the trains, the horn.
Right.
I'm like, you know, and when it's so quiet, I'm like, oh my God, so quiet. Why is it so quiet? I can hear everything. Oh my God, you hear the bird? You can hear them walking across like the roof. I'm like, where are we? I'm like, this is weird. Yeah.
When
So
we moved up here, it was so dark.
oh, dark. Yeah.
And I could hear the coyotes, and I'm like, gosh, it's so dark. I said, I used to hate, like my mom's right across the driveway, and I used to run full speed from my house to my mom's, like the boogeyman was going to get me, or,
you exactly.
or the
You were an adult.
coyote or something was going to
Exactly.
get me, because it was so dark and quiet up here.
Quiet, right? I know the stars are beautiful though, I have to say.
They are beautiful. They are gorgeous. But tonight we're talking about finding your peace when you're stressed, taking that time for yourself, like, right, and making sure that, you know, you do that self-care, you take care of yourself, you go for the walk, you find the friend, you drop your kids off at someone else's house and you go for coffee. You know, you have to have an outlet. You can't allow yourself to stay in the mess.
Yeah. And not to feel bad or guilty that you're there and
Right.
that you need help or you ask for help. Like, you know, if you didn't hear, like, you know, I would take your niece and nephew, you would take my kids, like where I'm like, you know what, I just need to go out and not be a mom for a little while. And my younger one gets mad at me sometimes. She's like, but mama, and I was like, I love you, sweetie, but mama's gonna go out with an adult now. And we're gonna talk about adult things.
Yeah, you just need to jump out of that mom suit. we're always moms no matter what, but when you can take that break.
Get to bed. I'm telling my daughter who's supposed to be in bed early tonight, who never gets to bed early. I get crazy.
The joys of momming, right? Being a mom. And it's always, right?
Oh, well, as I'm sitting here, I have one daughter, she just walked out. I'm like, I'm really, I'm doing mommy. I'm like, I'm on live now. And she's like, "Mom, go away, go away. Mommy cannot be a mom for, even though we're doing mommy on the daily."
Right. But sometimes even when we do this, it's nice to give you that time to just chat
Yeah,
and talk.
no, absolutely.
And it gives you that break.
And connect with other people.
Right. And connect. And that's a way to de-stress as well,
Mhm.
is connecting with other people. Going to Barnes and Noble and sitting in that chair, not knowing who's going to sit across from you and having a conversation with a complete stranger.
Well, oh. Well, are you ready? So I'm at a soccer game yesterday, and I'm there, and there's another mom there, and she has a camera, and I said, I go, oh, I said, and I said to her, I go, oh, is your goalie Maddie also? And she said, yes. I go, oh, I go, our goalie is named Maddie, and we laugh because now we're playing, another team, and both of them are named Maddie. Look, my puppy came to say hello. He said, hi, mommy. So he anyway, so I started talking to her, and she her name is Wendy, and we started talking, and she's from actually, Pennsylvania, and I'm from up north, and she's from up north, and so anyway, we're chatting away, and then we only had like 10 minutes to talk, and then we were done. And then I said, I'll come back at the end of the game, get your number. I want to get down in case, they shoot on my daughter. I want to be able to get the videotape. And also, anyway, at the end of the game, I go back over and I'm talking to Wendy and we exchanged numbers. And she's like, I haven't met that many people. She's been here 2 years. I said, oh, I've been here 4 years. I said, I don't have a lot of girlfriends. I said, I don't really have a lot of girlfriends either. And it's hard. Like, I've met a few, but it's really hard because we're at a different stage in our lives and we're busy all the time. But she even says, like, it's just that, she's having a hard time connect because the Southern are very different than the Northern. And, she's like, I really haven't found somebody. And I'm like, all right, so like literally we're going to see each other tomorrow because our 2 daughters play again in soccer. So we played on Tuesday. For whatever reason, they scheduled for the next one for, we went to their away game, and now they're coming to our field on tomorrow. And we said, she's like, oh, Kelly, we're playing you on Thursday. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Like, she's leaving the field. So I brought, like, when I got home that night, I text her. She forgot her phone, so I just text her. I'm like, hey, Wendy, it was great to meet you. But she's like, oh, great to meet you too. But I've already decided, like, I have someone I date, and I said to him, are we doing anything Saturday? He's like, no. He's like, I don't think so. No. And I said, so I'm going to ask Wendy and her husband if they want to meet for something to eat. Why not? Like, I don't have every reason not to. And it would be nice to get to know somebody else. And she's feeling, kind of a little lonely. I don't want to say lonely, but that she hasn't really made new friends down here. So like I said, it's that easy to, reach out to somebody.
Well, my brother moved down south, I think 21, 22 years ago. And the majority of his friends are all from up here. Like when he first moved down to Hilton Head, all of his friends were from Newburgh, which is not far from where we grew up, right? Mm-hmm. So it's funny because there's so many transplants down there that you can find, and it is different. It is a whole new world, what we're used to up here and the way it is down south.
So different. And like you said, if you go to Charlotte, nobody's from Charlotte. But because I live more, I live like in the Charlotte area, like Charlotte is a very small town. So you don't have as many transplants here. Whereas when you're like in Charlotte or Raleigh or Winston-Salem, you're in a bigger city and there's a lot more people who, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot more industry. So where I live, it's such a smaller town. It's harder to meet more Yankees.
Right, right. I get it.
Yeah. So that's why I said Wendy, like, and I am. So I'm going to ask her tomorrow. Like, I'm kind of excited. I was going to text her and I said, no, it'll be more fun if I talk to her in person. You know, like I'll sit her at the game. Like, hey, do you guys want to go out Saturday and have, grab a bite to eat? So,
Right. Yeah, it's you got to find your tribe. You got to find your people to connect with that can help you, or that you can go and break away and take off the mom hat for a couple hours and just be
Yeah.
Kelly.
Exactly. And just be Marina.
Yeah, well,
Like,
it's easier for me to just be Marina now because I don't have younger kids.
exactly. And like when I was living there, we would go out with your kids and then they would make fun of me, which was always nice.
And it's so funny because in our phones, I have Kelly as Kelly Dance because that's where I met her at dance class. And Kelly, what do you have me as?
Oh,
You have like 20 names on there.
I know yours is because I have to remember the kid's name. I have to remember everything. So you are Marina Grace Matthew Dance. Yep. Marina Grace Matthew Dance. So I knew how I met you, where I met you.
Right. And
I'm Kelly Dance.
Yep, you're Kelly Dance. And Mateo says, are you talking to Kelly Dance, Ma? That's what he said today.
Kelly Dance.
But it's so funny because both of the boys are 29 and 30 and they still call you Miss Kelly.
Miss Kelly. Exactly. Because I don't know. It's like when I was growing up, I remember my parents' friends, like Mr. and Mrs. Trino, and they would be like, they're like, you can call me Lillian and Phil. I'm like, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Trino, like, like you're 25 years old now. You can say Lillian and Phil. I'm like, okay, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Trino. I'm like, yes, Mrs. Trino. I know. I couldn't call her Lillian. My parents called her Lillian. Like, you're not
right.
That would be like calling my grandmother, like, oh, hi, Susie, and not calling her grandma. I'm like, no, you don't do that. Like,
right. We were raised in a different generation, I should say. Little ladies, moms out there, even dads. I know quite a few of single dads that are doing both jobs like a lot of single moms are. Make sure you find your tribe. You take time for yourself. If you're stressed, go for a walk, get out in nature. If you can't, go sit on the porch or on the couch, put your earbuds in. I've even done that, listening to birds chirp in my ears because birds make you they're peaceful. I love listening to the sounds of the birds outside. Oh, you don't?
I dislike birds immensely. You don't know what they're thinking. They're going to come and attack you and like poke your eyes out.
Oh, get out of here. We're talking positive things, silly.
I do not like birds. And then they wake
You're
me up.
thinking about the pigeons in the city.
I'm trying to sleep. I'm trying to sleep in. And what do I hear? Chirp, chirp, chirp. I'm like, are you kidding me? Now, if I was in the city and corn's going and flying, that didn't bother me at all. But a bird, I'm like, seriously? No chirping. No, I'm not a bird person.
Well, anyway, I listen to whatever you want in your ears to calm you down.
You like the birds. Exactly, you like the birds. I like to listen to
So
people.
Listen to whatever. You can listen to nature. You can listen to rain. You can listen to whatever, just to take the edge off.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. I'm like, oh, not birds.
Uplift you a little bit. Yeah. What is it? Regenerate.
Rejuvenate. Yeah, you rejuvenate.
You tell I'm tired today. I was shoveling all that snow yesterday. My arms, I'm like, why do my arms hurt so bad?
Yes. But it was so heavy. It was wet snow.
Yeah, it was really wet snow. Yeah, I was tired. So, ladies, find your tribe.
Yep.
If you're stressed that you're at work, go for a walk. Take your lunch outside. Go sit in the park bench. Ask one of your girlfriends to go for a walk with you at work. Just get out, move. If you're a stay-at-home mom, when the kids take a nap, either you take a nap, take a bath, the dishes, all that stuff will get done. But make sure you take care of you. Your mental health is very, very important. And if
Yeah.
you get to a place where you need more than that, then reach out and get the help you need. It's not shameful. There's no shame in the game when you're taking care of yourself.
Exactly.
Because honestly, you can't pour from an empty cup.
No.
If you have a sick child, make sure you have a team around you that somebody can come in and relieve you for a little while so you can get out. I remember, Kelly, when Nick was little and he was sick, and I went to the grocery store by myself. I had somebody come in and watch him. Carmine was working nights then. I'm going to run to the grocery store. I was so tired that I was like a walking zombie through the grocery store. I got out, packed my car up, and I was coming through. I went right through the red light, thought it was green. Yeah. And, because you're so tired, that's when you allow yourself, it's gone too far. Mm-hmm. You need to have a tribe, whether it's your mom, your sister-in-law, a girlfriend, somebody who can come in and give you that hand. And don't be afraid to raise your hand. Like you would say, hey, Maureen, can you take the kids? Do not be afraid to ask somebody to help you out.
Exactly.
Because those people want to help you. They want to help.
They get it.
Yeah. We've all walked the walk. And when you used to say, can you watch the girls for a while? Sure, I'll watch them. It is what it is. And you just take them. And
the other thing is, what's really helpful, like I said, I was at a daycare tonight. It's so cute to go through their eyes. But how many times, Maureen, we did it with them? We have the kids, they're doing a slip inside. You're like, come on, we're going to do the slip inside. And we're giggling and laughing. And then we had the paintballs that we're throwing at each other. And remember, we had the paintballs that we're throwing.
Sleigh riding over here on the hill.
And the thing is, it was like, don't stop being a kid either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. Do something that's going to make you laugh or giggle or.
Well, my nephews were here and the boys and I made tents in the living room with all the blankets and you move the cushions. And my brother's like, I can't believe you're doing this. And I'm like, why not? We literally slept down there in the tent on the floor in the cushion. And they thought it was the greatest thing. And it was great for me too, because then I wasn't just being a mom and an aunt, and I was enjoying it and having a good time. So be a kid, do something fun. I got roller skates for Christmas. I roller skated out on my back patio.
This year?
Yeah.
That's so fun. I just was roller skating, the girls and I. I
don't go to the roller rink because they only have it on Saturday nights for adults, Saturday nights at 11, and it's an adult night. And I don't think I'm in the age group, so I didn't go. But I'll go out on the back patio and I'll skate and I'll play my music. And it's great exercise. It relieves stress and it's fun. Find your fun, find your tribe, and make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Because that old saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
It's true.
So fill yourself up with something. Not alcohol every once in a while.
That's Friday.
That's Friday fun day. But and what I'm saying is fill yourself with something that makes you feel good, that brings life to you, brings peace, brings joy, brings happiness.
Yeah.
Especially in times like these when we are watching the news and it's not all happy and joyful and can get scary and unaware. And then you have your own stuff in your own house and your own kids. Turn all that off. Mm-hmm. Today I was driving in the car. Oh, I knew I wanted to share something. Disconnect to reconnect. Turn the cell phones off. Turn the electronics off. Turn whatever it is off. TV, anything. And reconnect with yourself, with your family on a whole new level. Yeah. So disconnect to reconnect.
like my kids and I, like Friday night, we've decided like Friday night, we're having movie night. We're gonna leave our phones in the other room. We're making some popcorn and we're just gonna have old school movie night.
Right.
Granted, yeah, I mean, and we're just gonna watch movies. That's it.
You know, it was a big eye opener for me. I have that thing set on my phone where it tells you how much time you spent on your
How much
phone.
screen time?
Oh gosh, was that an eye opener? But it even like YouTube, anything that you even listening to music, because sometimes I'll listen to a podcast that's connected to your screen time. But I mean, 8 hours? How in the world was I on for 8 hours?
Oh,
But
yeah.
not thinking that you're listening to things, but still it was an eye opener enough. So, disconnect every once in a while to reconnect with yourself and with others on a different level without having this technology sitting in front of you.
Yep. Turn it off. Just
Turn it off.
walk away.
Yep. Get out
And
in nature.
And people get mad at me sometimes because they're like, I just text you and all. I'm like, yeah. And then my kids came home and I'm done. And my kids are safe and they're home with me or I got them or whatever. My mom's with us and we're good. I don't have to worry about anybody else. I can disconnect. I don't need to go back on the phone until tomorrow morning. You know? And that's okay.
Go outside with your dog, run in the yard. Yesterday in the snow, my one dog loves when you throw snowballs up in the air and he jumps up as high as he can to catch them. And we start laughing. It's just allow yourself to have fun. We were out in the snow, not a cell phone in sight, disconnect to reconnect.
Exactly. That was good.
So
alrighty.
Thanks for joining us, Light Bright. Good seeing you. We'll see you again Friday. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, and
ring the bell. Hit the bell.
That's your favorite part.
Ring the bell. Hit the bell.
And we'll see you Friday.
All right.
Stay well, be blessed. Good night, all.